Welcome to episode 25 of the Castaway Challenge Series, and as you can see, it's a little different than normal. I mentioned in the previous episode that I was kind of getting tired of the way that this build was looking. I mean, we've done 25 episodes, well, 24 episodes. That's like 12 hours or something like that of video in this house, and so I figured this would be a good time to go ahead and change it. So I figured I'd do a speed build. I thought what I would do is do like a quick speed build and then we'd go to normal gameplay after that, but even at 4 times the speed, which is what this is at, it's 20 minutes long, so it was either make it incredibly fast and not really that enjoyable to watch, or just do a whole episode of a speed build, which is something I've always wanted to do, but I tried when I first started a video, like when I first started this channel. That was, I think, the second video or first video that I ever tried. I actually think it was for the build of this original house for this gameplay. I wanted to do like a recording on it, but I didn't know how to talk long enough. Like, I tried talking about as much as I could, and I think I had like 5 minutes of audio. So, so for what's actually going on right now is I'm emptying everything out, and what I had right there when I put that wall up is I was going to put the kitchen there, and then have like the dining room in that area, like right as you walked in the door, but that didn't make any sense. So I moved it over to this area. And we're going to be putting the kitchen in this little area, and then the room that the stairs are in is going to be a dining area. So I'm working right now out of the sim inventory. I thought about selling everything and then repurchasing everything for convenience, but the fact is it would cost a lot more if I did that, because they lose value as you have the item. And so if I was to use the same just purchase the same items again, it would be more than what I would have sold them for. And as it is, I think in the end I have $20 or something like that. So I needed as much help as I could get. Also, I don't know what's wrong with that cabinet and why I couldn't get it to face the right way with that corner cabinet. Like, I tried rotating it, but it just was not having it. So I decided to go without any kind of cupboards and just give them a big, tall cupboard cabinet thingy like that. And then I couldn't decide if I wanted like doors or arches. And I decided, since this wasn't, I think the bathroom was there before, so I decided to go ahead and put in a nice bigger window. It took me a long time to decide where I wanted the bathroom on this floor, because if I can, I want a bathroom per floor. Just makes it easier. And with 4 girls, 2 bathrooms is still kind of pushing it. But I didn't want it in the spot I ended up putting it in, because that big window was there. But there wasn't much else I could do. I chose where the stairs were going to go at the very beginning, because I have a really bad habit of trying to put the stairs in after having like laid out the bottom floor, and that just doesn't work. You kind of get what we did last time, where it's kind of in an awkward place, creates awkward spaces upstairs. So that would have probably been the best place for the bathroom again, but that's where I wanted the stairs. So, and I tried to get this table to work like color-wise, because it's always been a little off, not enough to like really bother me, but I figured since I was, at it and redesigning this living room, that I'd make it work better. Cost a little more, but that was okay. I have so much trouble figuring out what kind of window coverings I want in the bathroom. Like, this bamboo was really nice. I think I decided not to go with it because it's too short on the outside. Like, it looks fine from inside, like right now. But if from the other side, it only covers like half the window, and I think it looked a little weird. It also was cutting through that blue curtain. So I thought about just using that, and then there's always that weird gap between these ones, and I wanted to use the Alt to scoot them closer, but it didn't work for whatever reason. It was snapping too hard. So this, I don't think I've ever used these curtains before, but they have this nice tapered bit, so when it's at the counter, it's pretty close to the wall. Because other counter or curtains that I considered were really, they poked out really far, so they got in like the way of the sink and stuff. So that was pretty much the best I could do. But yeah, the downstairs has just the toilet. So I think that's a half bath. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's just a toilet and a sink. Good enough for downstairs, you know. I have a lot of, you'll see this as it goes through. I have a hard time choosing wall paints for pretty much every room. I also managed to get in the tab where it's automatically trying to paint the whole room, and I really don't think or realize it until I finish. Like, I often paint like a whole room and then do like one wall a different color, and I couldn't get it to do that for whatever. If I tried to do the buttons that I normally would do, it would make it do the opposite, and I was really confused. But at the very end, I figured it out. But at that point, you know, I'd been working for, I think I spent 2.5, 3 hours on this build. I wasn't rushed. I wasn't rushing myself. I was certainly taking the time. I really like these new shiny walls that they're coming up with in these last 2 packs that I've gotten. Especially this light one right here. It looks like a normal wall except for certain angles, and then you get the shine of the little decorations. And I don't know if I end up using that elsewhere in the house, but that dining room area changes quite a bit as we go on. I kind of figured as a bunch of teens they wouldn't have too much in the way of, not sure what the word I'm looking for, but just muted colors, just generic-esque, I guess, kind of rooms. I really ended up liking this blue, gray, black wallpaper that you saw briefly. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the color combination, not necessarily the wall itself, but I really like it. So here I'm trying to think of cooler wall patterns for, you know, like I said, a group of teens who live together. So I went with this, I think this came with when the toddlers came out. And so I used this and cleared out most of the walls except for 2. One, the wall that's against the stairs, and then the one you would see as you walked in. And I went ahead and changed the colors of the chairs and the tables to kind of match, which was convenient. Like, I feel like the chance that would work like that was pretty slim. But I'm really glad it did. And then that light I chose because it added a nice little pop of color. I like that it's two-toned. There's most of the options on that one is just really solid colors. And that, to me, looks like weird plasticky, but with the faded colors like that one, I think it looks really nice. Now on to trying to figure out the wallpaper for the living room sitting area. I actually don't remember what I settle on in this room. Maybe it is just this nice shine. Oh, wow. I don't know why I tried that. I think I was thinking about Eva's room, because I really like her room, or I wanted her room to be like black with that kind of pixeled blue look, because I imagine she saw like the Matrix where the writing is like in a bright neon color against the black, and that she really ended up liking that. It's kind of how I based her first outfit, was that jacket kind of reminded me of that, and so that's kind of been my attempted theme for her as we've gone on, but it doesn't always work, especially when we run out of money as we go, which is what happens. Let's see. I finally added a plant. I'm surprised. I've always had plants in my household. Growing up, there was like so many plants. When my boyfriend first came over, he was like, "Your house is so cool. It's got so many plants." So for me to have not put anything green in this entire build for all of this time kind of shocks me. So this was my first attempted layout at the upstairs. I'm kind of a stickler for trying to making sure that rooms are of like an equal size. It's probably because I'm a sibling. I have a little sister, and so keeping things fair was always a big theme for us. And so I think that's kind of translated into my room building in Sims. Like when I play with just the 6 girls, trying to get 6 rooms the same size in any build is kind of a pain. But at this point, I decide that it's just not gonna happen with the space that we have, and so I decide to extend the front. And then I spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out the best way to roof it. It's kind of an odd shape, but I kind of wanted it to continue to have a strange shape. Like, I didn't want it to be too square, and I kind of liked that look, except for that crossing, which I was not able to get rid of. So I go back to having that side out a little bit more, and then the one closer, but it still didn't look quite right, and so I tried a couple things. I'm pretty content with how it turned out. I don't know if it's like how an actual roof would work, but I liked the look of it, and so it's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This is what I kind of end up doing, but I didn't like that the way the roofs cross right there. Not that they cross. The way the one sticks out past the other one. Oh, I was checking out one of my friends' builds. The bowling alley is making some really cool builds, but like I said, I don't think I'll ever get it. It's just not something I'm interested in. Back to the roof issue. I tried covering it with like ivy, but that just wasn't gonna work, and so I was gonna use the chimney, and I wanted a taller one of those, but I couldn't find it. There's probably one there, I just couldn't find it. So I decided to try and move over the way I had built the chimney in the first place. So I scooted over that like top floor section over, and then I was gonna put that chimney back up like so, but there's still a little bit that pokes out, and it's not enough that I couldn't have left it and it would have been fine. Like, it didn't bother me that much, but I figured like that was a good backup plan. Was there anything else I could do to make it better? And then I realized I liked how wide that one was, like the top portion. So that's what I go ahead and use. I tried to see if anything I could do would cover it so that it looked more like it didn't stick out so much, but I just finally gave up and used move objects. I do try to not use move objects if I can help it, but in that case it was worth it for sure to go ahead and turn it on. I'm really glad that I was able to find something to cover that up with. So, me checking how it looks in all of the light. Excuse me, sorry. I guess I'm not used to talking this much within a time frame, which is funny because it's a normal length of a video. I guess I just mumble more. I notice that when I'm editing that I mumble quite a bit. So here I've figured out kind of what size I wanted, but I wasn't sure how to get, like, that little hallway bothered me, so I went ahead and just added it part of the room, which would be interesting to see in an actual build. And then that, right, what I just created is going to be the big old bathroom for them. I went ahead and divided it like I did downstairs so that the tub and the shower are separate from the toilet and separate from the sink. Just because it's nice to not have them walking in on each other all the time. I get so tired of seeing them embarrassed because they can't think ahead enough to realize there's somebody in the bathroom. Like, you know, in real life, you'd walk up and you'd hear... Well, in reality, if you walk up and the bathroom door is shut, you'd knock, and if no one replies, then go in. Not that I ever close my bathroom door, like, especially if no one's in there. I don't see the point in closing it. It's actually where my cat goes to get affection. Like, if she wants pets, she will walk us upstairs. She'll make sure we follow her up there and pet her there, because she always goes in when we shower, and when we get out, she's super affectionate, like, oh my god, I thought you were gonna die in there. So she's very affectionate, so I think somehow she has now come to associate the bathroom with affection. So, I mean, it's fine. It's cute. She stands up on the sink so that she's at a nice height to pet. So there I was putting some of the rooms back in, and I was kind of trying to decide which room to put which bed in. I put the one with the closet for Carly because she's our fashionista. She's always well dressed, so I thought that would make sense if she was the one to have the closet. Then there was some logic behind the rest of them, but not a whole lot. Now, when it came to this, I thought that having all of those doors made it feel really closed off, and so I went ahead and used a glass door. This one from the spa expansion. I know that technically they're not clouded, but in my mind, I see them being as like, you know, like shower doors. Like, you wouldn't be able to see anything. You'd be able to tell there was somebody in there, but that would be the extent of it. Because I imagine that in reality, they'd only go in there if it was an emergency and the other bathroom was occupied. So, you know, I don't think that people would be spending time in the bathroom sink very often while somebody was either going to the bathroom or showering. So I went ahead and used those just because I wanted a little less closed off of a look. So I'm right here, I'm personalizing the beds a little more to the Sims now that we know them a little better. They're still not perfect, but you know, I was working with what beds I have and what color palettes they have, so it's okay. Their bedrooms are so much bigger. Like, some of them have a lot of stuff in them, like Joe's, because it was her house, so she has like the closet and the easel, and so she has a lot of stuff in there, but someone like Eva doesn't have much, especially because what I would normally have put in her room would be a computer, but we certainly can afford to have a second one. And I definitely think that everyone should have access to the computer, and I don't want people just going in her room, so for right now, she's gonna have to be computerless, which is fine. It's right outside her room, so it's not much of a problem. I don't know if you noticed it back a while ago, but the family inventory still has the Jenga table. Is that even the name of that game? It might not be. But the table for like card games and the like, I just couldn't find anywhere to put it. Like, it was hard enough to find somewhere to put the desk where it made sense. So I'm just going to keep it in the inventory and we can pull it out if we really need it. Now for the tricky part of finding wallpaper and carpets for everybody. It kind of turned out to be easier than I thought it would, though I did have to try to be kind of cautious for the price point situation. But we're actually getting pretty close to the end, which is exciting. I didn't think I'd be able to talk through all of that. I probably should have accounted for how thirsty I'd be. But I didn't, so I'm just gonna have to suffer for the next 2 minutes. And any of you who are super keen, you'll notice that most of the rooms up here have no lights, but I do come back and deal with that in the end. Like, after I'm done recording, I go back and put in the lights and make sure everything's lit up in the rest of the house. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end. If you want to know when the next episode will come out, go ahead and check the description. I have the schedule listed down there for all of my videos. So I hope you guys like the new house, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.